Ooh, I can't think of a better way to spend my Thursday night than to talk about probably like the best show uh ever. I said that about Succession, but like yeah, the Bear is amazing. So we're going to be talking about that along with like other shit as well. Um let's just fucking jump into it. It might be a short one, I don't know. It's super hot, and I'm tired. Uh, but been looking forward to doing this all day, like usual. But sometimes I get to the end of the day and I'm like, oh, physically can't do shit. So here we are. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. Welcome to Adam is Chase. I am Adam Chase, and today we're going to be talking about. That's right, the Bear. Like y'all can read my mind. Yeah, we're talking about the Bear. Both seasons. I talked about it in the last episode that season 1 is amazing. For some reason, like I had something in the back of my mind where I'm like, all right, people overhyping season 2. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be really bummed out if like that's the thing with like hype and all that, and I know I'm only adding to it, but the Bear is a special case because usually when it comes to any form of content, I usually avoid it before I just start like binging it. Just because I'd rather wait and let the crowd die down from all like the recency bias and everybody like freaking out about it, wanting to talk about it, and then I watch it and I'm like, the fuck. So, I waited as long as I could, and I couldn't stop after season 1. There was just no way. Knowing that season 2 was available, I was going to take a break. I was going to be like, yeah, all right, we're going to get to the end of the season, and then I'm just going to, probably take a couple weeks off before I binge season 2. Nope. I watched all those episodes. I barely got any sleep because I couldn't stop watching it. It like just right before I always do this right before I go to sleep. And usually like, at some point like with the show, I can pause it and then sleep and then wake up the next morning and get ready and, watch the show a little bit, I was in. I was fucking in, dude. It was like it kept me up. All the episodes were amazing too. So we're gonna be getting into spoilers on The Bear season 1 and season 2. So please skip all of this because we're gonna be talking about a little bit of Star Wars shit. Okay, Star Wars might be back, y'all. I don't know. It might be back. But let's talk about the Bear, okay? The original BERF of Chicahhgoland. And we're talking spoilers, Bob. Talking spoilers. All right? So skip on ahead to Star Wars if you're not the fancy folk of talking spoilers. And by the way, I don't think I'm going to be spoiling that. Well, okay. No, I take that back. I'm definitely going to, because I want to talk about everything. So massive spoilers. Right. So how I want to approach this show is instead of just like talking about, I'm going to approach it like I usually do when I think about The Sopranos, in that I want to talk about the characters specifically rather than like the plot of the season. And the plot will I mean, it's a reflection of all the characters in that season. So with The Bear season 1, it was, about Carmy. Okay, let's just start with Carmy, okay? The head chef. The guy, he is the most conflicted dude ever. Like he is a good guy, but everything like like he goes about, you understand in a certain way. It just, especially with how much of a pressure cooker behind the kitchen really is. And that was my thing. I talking about last episode. I talked about Burnt and how it compares to The Bear, and honestly, like I still feel that. You know what I mean? Especially towards the end of season 2, which we'll definitely get to. But what I was worried about with Carmy was that it was going to be another Bradley Cooper character from Burnt, where he's just going to be unhinged for virtually no reason other than that is just like, oh, I just want everything to be perfect. It's like, yeah, but why though? With Carmy, you absolutely understand why. He has fear. He lets anxiety be his fuel. I don't think I've ever saw that boy drink coffee. Or, oh no, I take that back. I think he has drank coffee. But like, I can't imagine being Carmy and drinking coffee. Like that shit will fucking send me through the goddamn roof. And Jeremy Allen White, shout out to him. Holy guacamole. I think he's nominated out of all the over a dozen nominations. At least I hope he's nominated. I don't know. If he isn't, he should be. Because quite frankly, I am in part, I don't have a huge need to watch the Emmys. You know, I'll look at the awards afterwards for sure. You know, I like doing that. I like waking up the next morning and then seeing all the awards and who won and shit. That's cool. I like seeing that. I know that sounds so like what, but I don't know. I never been so. When I was younger, I was, for some reason, tangent time. The Oscars growing up, it was definitely like something we did as like a household, but like half of them we didn't see, and then the other half were just like, shit that is just like my entire family just doesn't want to even like entertain, whether it's artsy or whether it's, your like David Fincher kind of movies or even like as recent as like like Parasite and stuff, which absolutely deserves Best Picture. Such a crazy ass amazing movie. But going back to The Bear and their Emmy nominations, which is rightfully deserved because season 2 was a banger. Carmy is definitely one of those characters that I am like I'm very much on board with, and like the decisions that he makes too, because like it's like it's not the fact that I'm like one step ahead of him in terms of how he feels, but it feels like it's like they kind of force the audience to feel for Carmy, and I like that because it's kind of the same vein of Walter White, where it's just like, yeah, he's, it's the ever like the ever evolving conundrum of like a good person doing a bad thing or a bad person doing a good thing kind of shit. And I think all in all, like, at least Carmy has heart and he has passion. He's not hurting people, except for like, if you fuck up a dish enough times, he'll just probably just throw it. But the conflict that Carmy had with his family and which we're going to get to, but I think I want to talk about Michael and the family like all together, like in one lump sum, and I'm going to get to that. But for Carmy, it's like the conflicts that he finds himself in is so you would think that is like, what more are you going to add to this poor dude's fucking plate? And it's just, it's more. And I was so glad in season 2 they addressed it by way of like when he was trapped in the freezer towards the end of the season, because I thought that was very important to have, because it shows that, yeah, he's a human being that makes mistakes, and he takes that as a sign of, oh, I'm not doing enough and I'm not paying attention enough, and I got to put in my 100% focus into the restaurant, or else it's going to be absolutely fucked. Which, yeah, it would be, but the problem was that, like, he was having fun, he was being inspired, and he was falling in love, and he felt, like himself again, instead of just him chasing after the best dish or whatever, his own desires. And he didn't read those desires until Claire came into the picture. And I really like Claire's character. I think she's a good she's a good mirror to Carmy, in a way that they both they both enjoy misery, but like not in a way that is just like they are miserable, although yeah, they walk away feeling it in certain cases, because she works in the medical field as a nurse, right? Or did I just no, I think she just works in a hospital, right? And so she's used to like all sorts of crazy shit happening, coming in and out of that hospital. And I watch enough Grey's Anatomy to know that, okay? Basically a doctor. Watch so much Grey's Anatomy. Shout out to McDreamy. But yeah, I think I think Claire was a very essential character for season 2. At first, I didn't know how I felt. I was like, love interest? Okay, that's interesting. But as you watch the season, you realize it's like, oh, Carmy kind of needs this, just because of the fact that like he is coming back into his roots after like he was trying to find his footing in the first season, by dealing with his brother's suicide and running the beef and the mounting problems that he had, to the point where he couldn't take it anymore, and he was trying to do so much himself without realizing that you have an entire team who's ready to learn and willing to learn, well, for the most part. and yeah, I think Carmy had one of the best journeys in season 1. Now, let's get into the fucking kitchen staff, the heartbeat of the fucking show. Okay, let's start off with probably my favorite character in the entire show, motherfucking Sydney, dude. The actor who plays her is so good, and I can't remember which movie or some other show. No, I think it was a movie that I seen her in, and she was good in it. But like this show, especially the second season, it was just like, it's so fucking good. It's so good because she is like Carmy, but more, I guess, calculated. I guess, you know what I mean? She has a lot, like she's like a thinking man's chef, she's trying all sorts of shit, but she knows what she's experimenting with. Like she has full control of it all. Every time she makes anything, she just does it with ease. Like I think the best scene she's done, and there's no talking in it, but it was just how it was shot and how it was made, was when she made, in season 2, she made an omelet for Carmy's sister, because she was pregnant and, feeling feeling a little groggy, and just whipped her up like something as like innocuous as an omelet, but she made it like so fucking personal. It's so amazing. Like the food has meaning with their characters. You know what I mean? As I'm trying to like Adam, you're trying to just like fucking make any sort of symbolism with the show. I mean, the food is there. They don't. Here's the thing: a good show never wastes a shot or a scene. Where a lot of shows, there's just so many even anime, like it's just there's so much filler to the point where you're just like, okay, I just gotta get through it, because this is taking fucking forever. So going through it all, I think Sydney had like I was so on board with Sydney from the very beginning, just because like she has all of the characteristics of like an amazing chef, but she's also as stubborn as Carmi in a way. But they play off each other so well, like super fucking well, and they kind of like play off each other like a married couple without actually being married, because it's a partnership, right? With the restaurant and all that, and her becoming the CDC, and how she became the CDC was so great. Chef de cuisine, I think. And she's just like calling out orders and stuff, and having like an organizational flow throughout the kitchen so that they can get their shit out in the timely fashion. And at one point, because her entire character arc, it was predicated on the fact that like she tries a thing, she fails. She does another thing, she fails. And it was just never ending. And she got to the point where in season 2, she was ready to like feel like she was going to sabotage it all. Sort of like Carmi in a way, when he sees like flames and shit and like things catch on fire, and he just feels like he just doesn't want to put it out at all. There's a version of that with Sydney, and what that is she feels like she's trapped in one thing and then fails, but then she moves on to another thing, as any regular human being does, but she feels like she either can't earn it or she'll never make it, and she had not only earned it, but she has deserved the position that she was in, working for the Bear now. Now that I'm done with season 2, she's always had that, right? But like her journey through it all, I think, is my favorite, just because of like she is putting not only her whole entire like financial, spiritual, physical, emotional sanity on the line. She did it with grace, and she did it knowing that like things were going to get out of control. And when they 100% went out of control, she took a step back. And I was so happy they wrote that in the show, because for a moment, at least for that scene, it wasn't Carmi. It's now Sydney. You know what I mean? It's now Sydney running the fucking show. She has to run it because Carmi and, him slacking off got him locked in the freezer and shit, right? Or the fridge, walk-in fridge. And so there was so many times where, yeah, she feels like she can't do it, but just by having like, I feel like it was like, it couldn't be more than 10 seconds, right? Couldn't have been 5, but I'm pretty sure it was like less than 10, where it was just like a few beats of just her taking a deep breath and then calling it out. She got Richie from doing the maitre d stuff or whatever, and got him to call out the orders and run it through. And I want to talk more about that scene, but I want to talk more about Richie with his relationship with Sydney, which is also like just what a crazy journey. They all have such unique experiences, yet it all culminates into one thing. And that's the thing that it has been recurring in my brain. And that is it's about perspective. It's about understanding each other and knowing that like sometimes there's things that are going to be out of your control that you may have no control over. Right? And you're always you should always be one step ahead at any moment, especially working at a kitchen, but you can only do so much and you're a human being, right? There's really not so much you can do. And that's why I love the show. That's why I think like the show really brings out like the best in everybody, but also like the worst in moments though, not all the time. And that's why I think like The Bear is very much like a wholesome, good show, despite like they're cursing all the time and, whatever. I wouldn't call it like, bring your kids, they can watch it too. It's wholesome in a way that is like, they have their own language. And I myself would never survive in a kitchen like that. That shit seems terrifying. So anyways, Sydney, the best. Probably the best character and had like a great fucking journey, And her just like getting stun locked with Marcus too, because he's kind of have a thing for her and she's just like, fuck, It's like, I like you too, but I mean, good God, man, this is a lot. I'm the CD fucking C. I can't, I gotta run this bitch. I can't fucking focus on so many things. Same with Carmi, it's like you're gonna have to make those choices on whether or not you want to keep this relationship going. And that's why it was heartbreaking for him in the end, because I know he wants that. That's the thing. He absolutely wants it, which was why it's so heartbreaking, because it's like the first season, or not the first season, but in the beginning of the season, when he gave the wrong number, it was sort of like, oh, I see what you did there. It's like you don't want to hurt her and you don't want to hurt yourself in anywhere in this process. But you have people, especially your own family, telling you you deserve it. You earn, at least having some sort of conversation with her that leads to, of course, a relationship. And it worked out before, but it was just one of those things where, Carmi was just purely focused on food. But in order to have that inspiration from that food, you kind of need to have a life. And it's hard to do that and make that balance happen and still be original, because life is fucking hard. And that's the kind of grounded in reality that I like with the show. Not saying that like all of it is 100% true. But it's as real as you could possibly get, especially with the human condition and what makes them tick, what makes them feel happiness, joy, love, feeling loved, like getting compliments. Like, we can move on from Sydney. Let's move on to Tina. Fucking T, baby. She is rad. She is awesome, because her relationship with Sydney was super fucking like sour, because I get it, and I think that's why I feel for Sydney so much, because like I became a manager when I was 19 years old. Um, and it was just such a wild experience because I had to manage people that were sometimes twice my age, and they were associates. You know, not all the time, and sometimes like I would, uh, manage like teens who are still in school who just need a part-time job seasonally and whatnot, but like all range in ages and so many times. I would say like 5 or 6 people I worked with who just would never respond to me because I mean, I was 19 and I was a manager, you know, which, like in retrospect too, like there was a whole bunch of mistakes that I've made that I'm just like very fucking embarrassed by. But, I was 19. I mean, there wasn't really a whole much I can fucking do. It was almost 10 years ago. Uh, that was a manager, you know. Um, yeah, so that's why I relate to Sydney in that way because, yeah, I get it from Tina perspective, right? Tina's perspective is like, I'm not going to listen to some child who's just barking at me on how to cut fucking carrots. I know how to fucking cut carrots. I've been cutting carrots longer than your life. So, seeing that is fun in seeing her have this relationship with Sydney because Sydney gave the time to appreciate Tina and was like, you do a phenomenal fucking job, and I want you to know that. The dishes that she brings out for Sydney to try, and Tina is just so fucking, like, she's so in her head thinking that, like, oh, she's going to hate it because she hated the last 15 fucking dishes that I gave her. So fuck her. Then she eats it and then is like, this is great. She's like, motherfucker. That's all it took. Holy shit. I thought I failed again. The story of our lives, right? God damn. Love Tina. Also the oh man, I'm forgetting his name. God damn it. I need to get his name because I also love this character too. Hold up. Okay. Yeah. His name is Ibrahim, and he's like the butcher of the kitchen. There's a French name for it. I don't. It's like not charcuterie or charcutier or charcutier. Is it? Is it what it is? I don't know. Who cares? But yeah, it's great because like his character too. It's like his fear of like change and whatnot in season 2 for going to school and learning how to do all this shit um was an interesting journey, somebody who is as old as him. He's just like, you don't, I'm an old dog and I do not want to learn new tricks, you know? And there was a fear of that change. There was a fear that like, oh, if I'm not going to keep up with this, I mean, they're already running circles around me, he's got to keep up with all this or else he's just going to be left behind, you know? And I think that's such a great like supporting character, especially for Tina, because they've been through it thick and thin, right? And Tina had like the passion and the hunger to get that knowledge and be proficient. I mean, she got the knife from Carmi and she got the green light from Sydney to be a sous chef, like, or actually no, she asked her to be a sous chef, her sous chef, which is awesome. It's amazing. to just give somebody that opportunity after the shit that they put each other through is fucking rad. It's so cool. So moving on from Ibrahim, who is one of the goats, of course. We got to talk about Marcus, dude. Marcus. Oh my God. His journey. Oh my God. It's heartbreaking too with his, I think it's his mom, who's just having like mounting health problems and such. It's just like, it's heartbreaking, but like Marcus doesn't skip a beat, He makes sure he calls her, makes sure that, everything's all taken care of. He's a very routined man, and that's why I think like him going to Copenhagen was like probably the best thing for him, because it taught him that sort of discipline and and never to be scared to reach for inspiration, and it worked, like is at the end of season 2 with all like his dessert presentation and whatnot, which all looked fucking bussin', so goddamn good. Yeah, all the food looked fucking amazing. So yeah, there was those characters. Here, let's see. Sweeps is great. Yeah, Neil, amazing. It's Maddie Matheson. I mean, come on, I just saw the name where. Yeah, the dishwashers, Angel and Manny. Yeah, they're great as well. That when they come in, they got like something important to say. You know what I mean? It's awesome. So I mean, there's a lot of like smaller characters. Like there's but yeah, I don't know. I want to talk about the family though, Carmi's family, including Richie. Oh well, perfect start. Richie, dude, Richie, my man Richie, man. He the guy I forgot his name, Eben Moss. Yeah, he was in Andor, one of like probably the best like Star Wars shows that is going on so far. His I for some reason like I've seen him in so many things, but like this is the first time that I've seen this guy engage with the role so well that like he in the beginning of season 2, I was so happy it began with him in the first episode by him like kind of like having a heart to heart with Carmi and saying like, "Hey, what's my purpose?" And he's like, "Oh, I mean, you work at the beef, you work at the bear. You're one of the boys. You're one of the crew, And he's like, "Yeah, but why? Like, what is my purpose?" And Carmi helps him out too by sending him to that kitchen. I think it was like episode 7 of season 2, Forks, I think. And him like just cleaning all the forks in the beginning of the episode, like, him just wanting to sleep in. He's groggy. He doesn't want to, fucking show up. And then he does. And then he has to polish all these forks and whatnot. And I'm glad that he kind of had like a slap in the face, like a wake up call with Garrett. Is he the maitre d'? I don't know. He's front of house. He runs like the waiters and all that. Make sure everyone's experiences are, top notch. To the point where like what was confusing to me the most was that the restaurant would go as far as to like, because I mean these are high profile people, right? That go to the restaurant because it's a Michelin star restaurant or however many stars, but like it's so interesting seeing that like there's certain uh, patrons or like people, customers who come in, and like the front of house don't give them a check. It's like, yeah, you're good. You know, that I didn't get. That's the only thing that I'm just like, what? It's like, it's just like, I don't know. It's also like the poor person in me. I'm just like, oh, phenomenal. I just have no rich asshole just fucking pay for nothing. But like, I understand the point they're trying to make is that it's to enhance the experience. It's to make the experience like worthwhile, to the point where it's like you know, with the restaurant like that, you want like a booked waiting list for like the next few months, you know, because it's one of those, it's an experience, right? It's, you don't go there to just like, you know, like Applebee's, you just get the, you know, appetizers and the buffalo wings and the jalapeno poppers and fucking, you know, hit the sirloin burger and get the fuck out, you know. But it's a whole fucking thing, you know, which Richie made fun of in the beginning. You know, he was just like, I'm just polishing forks. I don't understand. And that Mater D had to pull him outside and be like, dude, I love this shit. I live for it. People yelling at me, people screaming at me. I don't care. As long as I can make somebody happy, it's all that matters. And that just kind of shot inspiration through Richie. Because he wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have known that, like, by you being there and providing something of an experience for the people in the front, because that's what he likes doing. He likes, you know, shooting the shit with people and telling stories and whatnot. Him and Michael, Carmi's brother, did. Yeah, it just like that's all something that like I fucking love seeing, you know? Because Richie does care despite the fact that like he isn't part of the family. He still he found where he belonged and he found his purpose. And his purpose is to provide an experience. Provide the people with something of a lifetime. And he fucking he works it so well. He wears the suits now, and you know, he jumped in on as you know, running the line and shit with Sydney. Yeah, it was just like, it was so, his character is so special. And I would venture to say that like his character definitely overshadowed a couple of characters in the season. But not too much though. He still gave time to, you know, the family and you know, Sydney and all those guys who work at the Beef, you know, or the Bear now. So yeah, I fucking, another amazing character. Now, let's talk about the family for a second. Holy shit. Yeah, people talked about this episode. I think it was episode 6, Fishes. And it's a great episode. It really is a phenomenal episode. It's like a movie in of itself. There's a introduction of characters. You see the setup of what the family layout looks like, and then you see the inciting incident, which is essentially, you know, shout out to Jamie Lee Curtis, Carmi's mom, Donna, I think. She is just like, she is such an interesting character because like there's so much relatability with my own family that it's just like, it's so hard to talk about because it's true in so many ways of like how certain family members just absolutely dissociate from a situation completely, and how like the mood can change at an instant by just simply like saying, hey, do you need help with the thing? Because it all takes place around like Thanksgiving dinner or just like a holiday Christmas dinner. And the entire family's there. It's like chaotic. It's all over the place. And the kids want to jump in. Her kids want to jump in and help her out. And she says no, she doesn't want it. And it's almost like at first I thought she was just trying to prove herself, Donna. I always thought that, like, okay, is she just trying to prove that she can do it all herself? And then when she started like drinking more and she started like kind of becoming more unhinged and yelling at everybody, and then she just becomes instantly triggered by just the sheer question of, are you okay? Are you okay? And she just fucking, like, it's almost like she blue screened and she just like went off the fucking hinges. And it was like by her own daughter, just asking her, "Hey, are you okay?" And then it's like the entire fucking family at the dinner table just all gave an audible sigh, and they're just like, "Fuck, god damn it." Which, of course, isn't her fault. Asking a question of "Are you okay?" is perfectly valid and perfectly normal, but not when you're dealing with somewhat of a narcissist, egomaniac person who doesn't understand her own limits and wants to do everything herself while resenting everyone else who do want to help. And then she kind of blames them for not helping in the first place either way. So it's I'd rather not have you help me so you can prove a point. I'd rather have you not help me so I can prove my point, essentially. I don't know if that made any sense, but it made sense in my head when I thought about it. But yeah, she's just trying to prove herself a point for nobody, essentially. She's just an unhinged, maniac. But you see that she has love for her kids. She does. It's just she's embarrassed, and she knows she's embarrassing because again, it's like that loaded question of, are you okay? Meaning like what she takes it is like, oh, you're just being judgmental, you're judging me, when it's not the case at all. It's just that's a genuine concerned daughter, a valid concern from her own kid, and then moving on to Mikey, another heartbreaking character. Shout out to the Punisher, fucking playing Mikey and stuff. He definitely fit that fucking role. That's for sure. He was good in it, very good. Just as some like guy who's just angry all the time and loves being the center of attention. Just always has to be the center of attention. He loves telling the stories. Same with Richie, which Richie is definitely like cut from the same cloth as Mikey, which is why they probably hung out all the time. Yeah, Mikey's story was very heartbreaking, especially in the first season as you got to know him a little bit throughout the episodes and whatnot. By the entire family just kind of all together, kind of busting each other's balls and shit. Yeah, and then it just became like not the same until like shit happens in the kitchen. It's like when the fun shit happens in the kitchen, it's like they continued right back where they left off, and it's such great storytelling. There's no else to describe it other than that it's masterful, and it took a village. I know it took a village to make that shit happen, and the beats and the timing and all of it works, So yeah, I think Michael is a heartbreaking but awesome character, very essential to to the overall story of, the beef and all that, and also hiding the 300K in the tomato sauce, which, job well done. The writers should absolutely fucking pat themselves on the back for just that reveal alone. Was so fucking worth it. So good. Just have like, oh, it was just cash hiding in the fucking tomato sauce the entire time. That's where the 300K came from, So, yeah, that's the. Oh, and then of course there's Natalie or Sugar, who is, just such a sweet character, and she is just like, whenever she's with the other kid, she just like, her inner asshole just comes out, and she just like gets fucking snappy and sassy whenever she's with her brothers and shit. It's hilarious. Even Richie too, which is also hilarious. So yeah, love Natalie. She's a sweetheart. I think that's it. Oh, another thing that is the best piece of writing, in my opinion, that just breaks my heart every single time, is that they all, because they're all named I probably said this already, but it bears repeating. It's so good, and it like, I well up in tears every time I think about it when they call each other Bear, because their last name is Brozado. It's so wonderful and wholesome. It's like, it's the little shit that is just like, oh yeah, that's sort of like what families do, and like how they know each other and understand each other, how they work and whatnot. It's so good. And I do like the guest appearances as well. They're really, really fucking great. But I mean, they're guest appearances. Olivia Colman's in it, and I love her to death. Watching her in Secret Invasion's awesome too. And she's just great and literally everything that she's in. Along with the guy who looks like Sid from Toy Story. I keep forgetting his name, but he's a good actor. He played Adam Warlock in Guardians 3. Very good. Very fucking good. I don't have anything against the guest characters. I think especially the Fishes episode, where it's just like literally all guest stars. That's great. I love that shit. Especially too, like, you see a couple of those like family members talk, like Donna, Jamie Lee Curtis's character comes back, but like, oh my god, in such a heartbreaking scene with Natalie's husband. So his mother-in-law just standing outside of the Bear, of their kids' restaurant, waiting for her. They have a seat all reserved and whatnot. Just stands outside, smokes a cigarette, and then just like begs her son-in-law to just say, it's okay, you don't need to be here. Despite that, like, he was trying his damnness to get her inside. To the point where he panicked and he was like, I don't know what to do. I really want you to come inside. I really want you to get inside. And even by that, she didn't want to, because she thought either, she just didn't, I guess, want to steal their thunder, or feel like she doesn't deserve seeing their success. Just any of that kind of like pathetic excuses that are absolutely real to certain people, which is insane. But, it's, again, that's why it's such a great scene and so heartbreaking. And it gave a chance for, I keep forgetting his name, but I'm just gonna call him the son-in-law, Natalie's husband. Like gave him a good amount of time to really understand him as a character. And you sort of understand all that. That's the thing with this writing, with this show, because you got to understand these episodes are like roughly 30 minutes. Some, of course, are like 35, 40 minutes. And I think the family reunion episode, the Fishes episode, I think that's like an hour, I think. Has to be. But they're all 30 minutes. So you only have so much time to really, really tell a character. So every single moment of that show counts. And I think that's fucking genius storytelling. It's amazing storytelling. Because you see the actors know their characters so well, yet even the words that aren't spoken are like just by body language alone is just essential to the fucking characters. Even like their mannerisms of like, you know, kind of having like an eye twitch or like a, you know, like a double take or any of that, like just gives away a lot of information about that character, you know? So every beat and every single shot and how it's shot, by the way, holy fuck. I never seen a show with so many goddamn fucking wonders. I don't think all of them are wonders. I mean, there's only so many that are wonders, but like, there's one that I feel like, I don't know if it is. It's the end of season 2, right? Or I guess like the second to last episode, or maybe it was the last episode, where they kept going in and out of like the back of house to the front of house and the back of house to the front of house. I love that shit, but I don't know if that was all in one take. And if it is, my fucking God. Working on a film set, y'all, you don't know. That's why I think it did happen, because like those shots are so masterful that it would be so hard to cut, because there's no way, just by where the direction of the camera is going, they just kept fucking rolling that shit. It's just, it was at least 10 minutes. Had to have been. Maybe 5, but there's no way though. You know? Just all in that one fucking thing. And they did the same thing in season 1, but like season 2, they upped the ante with that. Made it longer. It's in a different environment. Same place, different environment though. And it's just fucking genius. And the amount of rehearsals, the amount of probably takes and shit you had to do. I can't imagine doing another fucking take of that. That would be insane. You know? So it'd be like you get to the end of the 10 minutes. It's like, all right, let's reset literally the entire fucking restaurant and start over again. That's just fucking insane. There's no way they did that so many times. And if they did, or if they found a way to like cut it, they found a way to match cut certain things. Wow. Fucking genius. It still showed it to be so chaotic, you know? So if that was a case, good on you. But if it was all in one shot, you people deserve to be inducted into the Smithsonian Museum, because that shit's fucking wild. That along with the 20-minute or 15-minute fucking chicken fight with Peter Griffin and the chicken in the Family Guy. Whatever. Show's lame anyways. But, you know, yeah, I just I think the show is definitely phenomenal, and it shows why it got the 13 nominations. It's just a masterclass in filmmaking, a masterclass in storytelling. It's, God damn it, it's good. It's fucking good. And I didn't think too, after Succession, I'm like, there's not going to be another show that will amount to this. I don't think at all. Until I saw The Bear, and I'm like, oh shit. This thing fucking rules. You know? But that's it, Rating so far, 2 seasons in of The Bear. Hard 9 out of 10. That's a solid 9. That's a steel 9. And the only reason why I don't know if I want to give it a full 10, that it's perfect, just because we're not done yet. We could get to season 3 and it could just absolutely shit the bed. Like fucking Mandalorian. Perfect segue about Star Wars. You know what I mean? Because season 3 of Mando... Listen, the first 2 seasons of Mando was fucking stupid good. It was good. Yeah, there's a couple of episodes I was like, I wouldn't have done that. But for the most part, they're really fucking great. See, at the end of season 2 was amazing. It was so fucking wonderful. And then season 3, it was just... I don't want to say it felt like it was phoned in, because I love the character arc of Bo-Katan. Like, Bo-Katan was the showstopper for that one. It was the big fucking thing of that show, and rightfully so, because she's a phenomenal character in the animated series and Rebels and all that. I think she's a phenomenal character. So yeah, I couldn't. I don't know. Like, I couldn't be more hyped for Star Wars after seeing the Ahsoka trailer. After getting burned by season 3 of Mando, I was just sort of like, I don't know. And then there was a whole bunch of shit about, the Acolyte and Leslie Headland, the showrunner of the thing. It's just like, because I'm also looking forward to that show as well, So yeah, I'm excited for Ahsoka. It's only a trailer, so we don't know really much about it. But between like Ray Stevens' character and Thrawn, which I think his last name is Mikkelsen, I'm pretty sure. Lads Mikkelsen, or I don't know, but not Mads Mikkelsen, but I guess his brother. I don't know, but he voiced Admiral Thrawn, like Bo-Katan, or Katie Sackhoff did with Bo-Katan. So yeah, he is back and he's playing as Thrawn, which, of course, if any of y'all know Star Wars, Grand Admiral Thrawn was a huge part of Heir to the Empire, and a very scary character, a very intimidating, loves to play 5D chess kind of shit, That's why I'm very excited about Ahsoka. So yeah, I think at least I hope it's going to be a phenomenal show. I can't say whether or not it will or won't. But I'm definitely going to give my review probably per episode, per podcast, and then I'll do one episode where it's just like just all about Ahsoka, because I'm still a big Star Wars fan. I'm through and through, just like Marvel. Although it felt like, with Marvel, it's kind of a different thing with that one, Marvel has kind of been up and down for me. But anyway, so yeah, Ahsoka, she's a great character. Ahsoka. I think I'm glad that they're giving her the limelight in terms of like the next, dope Jedi to come through and have a presence in the post Return of the Jedi kind of like, Mandalorian way of storytelling now, and hopefully it's great. And I think it will be. It's a great choice with Rosario, and yeah, I think the show is going to pop off. I did read that it's basically going to be Rebel season 5, which I think is pretty unfair for people who never seen the animated series or Rebels, because they're both animated shows, and they're part of Disney XD and whatnot. I mean, they're on Disney Plus now, but it's just like there's lots of like it's a kid show, not all the time. There's a lot of serious moments that really pop off and are fucking great. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how I truly feel about the animated series other than that, like, it's good storytelling, it is. I do think there are several episodes between the two, including The Bad Batch, another animated series that I felt like, there's a couple episodes I could have done without, it would go down and then just immediately shoot right back up again, in terms of like how good it is with the storytelling, which is not always inconsistent like that, but what I'm really more looking forward to, those Andor season 2, that shit is just going to be wild. It's only those 2 seasons, so that's all that time we got with Andor. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. But Ahsoka, I'm definitely looking forward to. So yeah, hopefully it'll be good. And it'll give me more content for the podcast, baby. More content. Like as if I don't already shut the fuck up as it is. Which we've been over an hour. I was going to talk about Secret Invasion, but I think I'm going to wait. Because the last episode's good, but there's a lot of shit that happened, and I kind of want to wait. And I think I'll just have, like, a pod where it's just going to be about like the state of Marvel in my Secret Invasion review. Because I'm tired. I'm also starving too. It's almost midnight. And I gotta edit this shit and put it out. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope I wasn't too sweaty this episode. Yeah, this has been fun. Hopefully I have a consistent schedule for this podcast. I'm just trying out a couple things, It's not a lot of people watching this anyway, so I'm just trying some shit out. I want to do it 4 days a week, hopefully 5 days a week, because I do like doing this. I do like doing it daily, just taking an hour of my time and then an hour, 2 hours to edit and post and whatnot. Sounds G to me. All right, guys, I gotta go take a shit.